incorporate best global practices in our work, both as a board and a management team. Our joy will be to see this student revolving loan scheme to outlive all of us. We want in 5 years' time, 10 years' time, 20 years' time, even 50 years' time, for this scheme to be operational, to benefit Gambian students. A key element, Honorable Minister, distinguished guests, is the element of sustainability. Sustainability is the bedrock of development. The sustainability of the scheme is critical for success, and board, with the support of management, would establish clear sustainability mechanisms to guide the scheme so that we just don't depend upon public finances, but we can get finances from other sources. In this regard, I would want to appeal to well-meaning Gambians and non-Gambian individuals, the private sector, civil society organizations, our brothers and sisters in the diaspora, Gambians in the diaspora, and development partners to support the laudable initiative of this scheme, and also, by extension, the tripartite funds that have been established or that will be inaugurated today. Through genuine partnership, we can make a significant difference in the lives of present and future generations of young people. I take this opportunity to thank all of you for your support, your understanding and cooperation. And work starts now. Thank you very much, and God bless you all.
Thank you very much, Chairperson, Student Revolving Loan Scheme. Without further ado, I have the honor and pleasure to call Dr. Ibrahim Assal, Chairperson of the National Research and Innovation Fund, to deliver the strategic importance.
Assalamu alaikum. Good morning, everyone. Honorable Minister, Professor Pierre Gomez, Ambassador Janabajan, distinguished participants, colleagues, the board chairs, members of the different boards, distinguished participants who are here, friends, good morning to you all, and all protocols observed. I want to begin by thanking the President for making the appointments, and Minister Gomez, Professor Pierre Gomez, for, first of all, for creating these institutions, which are very, very important, the National Research and Innovation Fund and the other institutions we are talking about here today. It is very clear that there is a vision being, unfolding right under our eyes, and since Professor Gomez became the minister, we've seen a number of initiatives, and it's also, and I want to say this, very clear that your approach has been consultative, it has been inclusive. I don't reside in the Gambia. Like many other people who are residing outside, you've been calling upon us every time you had an idea, every time you had a project, sharing drafts of policy documents with us for contributions. Because there are a lot of people who have talent, who have experience, who have knowledges that they are willing to share, and many of whom are Gambians, and they're only waiting for an opportunity to do so. And you've been giving us that opportunity, and I want to really express appreciation for that. And it's also important to note that there is follow-through. 2 years ago, just over 2 years ago, you were kindly invited by the Moherst to a retreat at the Abkas Creek Lodge, where we are discussing, I think, strategy and financing for research. And the need for the institutions that have been launched, been discussed here today was expressed and emphasized. And here we are today witnessing the inaugural meeting of the boards of these institutions, which is also very, very good to note. I also want to thank you personally for appointing me as the chair of the Board of Governors of the Fund, the National Research and Innovation Fund. It is an honor and a mark of trust that I take the full measure of. Professor Mamadou Sallah, the executive director, has explained the rationale for the National Research and Innovation Fund already. So I just want to add a few things to what he said. Ours is a developing country with many, many, many challenges in a world that is changing extremely rapidly these days. And the changes are everywhere, in the families, in the economies, in the cultures, in the environment. What we want is to move out of the difficulties that the country is in now. We call it development as a way of simplifying a very complex matter. But we want life to be better and meaningful and dignifying for everyone. And research and innovation have proven to be very, very helpful to people who are seeking to achieve that kind of objective. In any case, research and innovation should serve those purposes and enable all those seeking to make life better, conditions better, development to be a reality and a dignified reality for everyone possible. This means it is about government, it's about the private sector, it's about communities, and it's about ordinary citizens. And it's important that we accept that we cannot assume that others can do the thinking and the research and the innovation, and everything that the only thing that we need to do as Gambians is to adapt or apply, what has been found elsewhere, or transfer, whether it's technology or innovations. The development of every country should be led by the people of that country, and this means the thinking about development itself, the understanding of what the challenge is and the specific context in which they are, the understanding of what the opportunities out there are, what works for us and what doesn't work for us is our responsibility. So therefore, investing in enhancing the capacity to understand what the opportunities are, what the challenges are, what the risks are, what we can, harness in a much more important way, is extremely important, and that is what an institution like the NRF, the National Research and Innovation Fund, can help us do. The starting point, as I was saying, is the sense-making, how to understand it. How do we read and interpret our challenges and the aspirations of our people, of the business community, of civil society? We should look at the world from where we are, right? And with our own eyes. I'm paraphrasing Amilcar Cabral and others who said this before in a much more eloquent way. But this also just underscores the importance of research, informed and driven by our concerns and our aspirations. In other words, the research to be promoted and the research agenda is something that should be determined by what we are seeking to achieve and where we want to go and where we are, with the answers we are trying to seek to find. The research we promote should also aim to be world-class in terms of its quality. We want Gambian research on its own and through international collaborations and various mechanisms to be recognized globally, as well as and as much as it is recognized and appreciated by our own people, by our own government, by our own policy communities, by our own private sector and communities. Otherwise, we will be failing to have research that we value, but that is not recognized and valued elsewhere. The research community, it must be Gambian. We have to have a Gambian community where we discuss our issues, where we, agree on what are the priorities for us and where we want to go. But we understand that we are part of a global research community, and ours will make sense only if it is also recognized in its quality globally. So policymakers and development practitioners seeking to address the challenges that they are trying, we are confronted with need data, They need a deep understanding of the issues and an understanding of the needs and aspirations of the communities, of the young people. Every African country, almost every African country is now, predominantly young in terms of the makeup of its populations. The business sector and civil society and all who are concerned, they need to know what are the policy options that are available and what policy options, more importantly, which policy options can work in our context. And so the issues are many. And some of these issues are very specific to Gambia. We are a country with its own challenges. We are an enclave. We are a least developed country. We are, really culturally and sociologically very specific. But we also know that there are global challenges, global health issues, sustainable agriculture, food systems, digital inclusion, artificial intelligence, climate change. All these issues, peace, these are global issues that almost every country is confronted with now. So the point would be, what kind of research would enable us to figure out where we stand in these debates and where we stand in these equations and what we can contribute. So high quality research can provide solid scientific basis for making important policy choices and practical decisions. And research, of course, facilitates innovation. It is also a good basis for improving teaching and learning. So it's, again, important that we are here also having, initiatives related to student education being launched. So we are talking about research in its entirety, not only also in research in the STEM, important as it is. The STEM are important. Technology, science, and so on, extremely important. But it is not the only kind of research we need. When we talk about the Anthropocene, the world being profoundly marked by the actions of human beings. That is simply put what Anthropocene means. It is the era in which we are since some dated back to a long time ago. But if you talk about climate change, as we are meeting here today, COP30, the Conference of Parties on the Environment, is meeting in Brazil, and they're discussing global warming. And it is agreed and accepted and determined and proven by science that global warming is the result of human action. So human beings are the ones who are driving a lot of the things that are happening that we are trying to respond to. Whether we're talking about peace, governance challenges, development challenges, much of it has to do with human action or policies designed by human beings. And therefore, understanding the dynamics related to that from all the sciences that are available, from the human sciences as well and social sciences, is important. So we will be missing something if we focus only on promoting the STEM. And therefore, this fund, as we understand it, should be looking at all the things that matter for us in our effort to develop the Gambia and move it forward. We therefore really salute again the minister and the government for establishing this institution. It is a very, very strong statement of commitment to the advancement of education, higher education, research and knowledge generation and management. And it is important that we understand and make our compatriots understand that for a developing country, investing in research is not a luxury or a nice thing to do. On the contrary, research for a developing country is not only a necessity, it is also actually a very sensible thing to invest in. And that is why in the year 2000, a report jointly produced by the World Bank and UNESCO on higher education in developing countries. The title is Higher Education in Developing Countries, Peril and Promise. A very strong case was made for every developing country to have at least one good research university. If only because the people of the country need to have the capacity to understand the dynamics in which they are and the world in which they are, to be able to see and understand what are the opportunities, again, as I was saying earlier on, what are the risks, what are the challenges, and what they need to take advantage of, or what they need to prepare for as things are changing. And so, again, I think it's really important to have this institution, and there is a parallel, actually, that can be established between the level of commitment and seriousness of the effort put into higher education and skills development and innovation and research and the development trajectories of countries. You take a country like South Korea, which is one of those that have invested, most in terms of proportion of their GDP to research and education, and from a very, very early age. And every kind of issue they're taking up, including, I had the honor of visiting South Korea at the UNESCO conference in last year in December, and we visited a school, a primary school, that had not only a science lab, but also an AI lab, artificial intelligence lab. So they introduced young people to these issues at a very early age. Again, to make a point that has already been made, this is really very important for us. The African Union has set the target of 1% of GDP for every African country to spend on research and innovation by the year 2030. These targets, of course, are seldom met. This is one of the issues that the AU has to find a solution to. They said good targets, they have excellent instruments, but implementation has always been a problem. But where do we stand in that equation? Depending on the sources you look at, Gambia is spending between 0.4 and 0.7% of its GDP on research and education. So we can do more and we can do better. I think we need to strengthen also, I'll end on that point, we need to look at it also in an ecosystemic way. I think Professor Salah said it already. Research thrives in an ecosystem that sort of favors it, in an enabling environment. We are talking about the higher education institutions, we are talking about the funding institutions, we are talking about all the things that impact on research, that have to work. And I think one of the things that this institution will be doing is to have that approach to it. The funding of research, the connections that research has, the ethical issues related to research, the quality of the research, setting standards, looking at the priorities, connecting, of course, as some of our reference points, what the Agenda 2063 of the African Union says about research targets, what has been set in the Sustainable Development Goals, and what other things that are related to our national development goals as well. There is a need to have a very precise landscape analysis of the situation of research in a country. We have pockets of excellence. I mean, there are, quality publications coming out of Gambia through research, but done with institutions like MRC, for example, that have been around for a long time, and malaria research. A lot has been published. So how do we make sure that those things are mainstreamed and shared much more widely? So we need to also have a kind of a multi-organized ways in which there are multi-stakeholder dialogues about what the research priorities are. So in the coming months, we will be doing some of the things that have already been said about the other institutions, looking at everything, setting up this fund really in a strong secretariat with researchers and people responsible for different programs, the governance mechanisms, and putting in place all that is required to make it a strong institution. But we will also be, engaging in all the work that's needed. And there are some policy decisions that we've made along the way. So once again, I would like to thank the Minister and thank everyone, and look forward to, continuing this conversation, particularly with the other institutions that have been launched here, but also with our university community and the African university community going forward. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ibrahim Sall, Chairperson of the National Research and Innovation Fund, a prolific researcher and academic. We are very enthusiastic and we look forward to a rejuvenation of the national research and innovation ecosystem in the Gambia, and you re-echoed our discussions at the National Assembly when we give data on the expenditures, the gross expenditure on research and development as a ratio of GDP. Absolutely, South Korea is second, about 4.96% to GDP. That's why no wonder they are doing well. It's only second to Israel, which is about 6.35%. So we've been convincing our parliamentary members that Gambia also needs to gradually move towards the 1%, and they have given their ears to us. I hope our sister would carry the message again to the Ministry of Finance that we need the 1% investment, that is only research and development. We are not talking about the other areas. So, which means we'll come will come for more money. Well, I think the choice to nominate and appoint the 3 chairpersons was a very good one. We had very good positive feedback on the ministry's social media. I didn't know Mr. Obi previously until I started reading about the CV that was written by social media on him, which was very positive. And for Dr. Sal, he reminds me of the late former Vice President and our former Minister, Badr Rajuf, living memory. He has been the one who introduced us to Dr. Sal, and since then it has been a very good relationship with Sal. Based on that memory, I would want to appeal to the audience. We can observe 1 minute of silent prayers for our late compatriot. Amen. Thank you. So, ladies and gentlemen, it is now my distinct privilege to invite to the stage a leader whose presence on this board sends a powerful message about the vision of business acumen and national development. We are all aware that the success of the TED Fund in particular hinges not just on policy but on strategic investment. On strategic investment, financial sustainability, and a results-driven mindset. It requires the sharp eye of a builder, the vision of an entrepreneur, and the heart of a patriot. We are therefore exceptionally fortunate that one of the Gambia's most revered business moguls has answered the call to serve. He is a man who has built an empire from the ground up and whose name is synonymous with excellence, strategy, and transformative growth in the private sector. His agreement to chair this board is a rare and profound commitment, a testament to his belief in investing in the most valuable asset of any nation, its people. So therefore, it is with great honor that I welcome to the stage the Chief Executive Officer of the Q Group and the Chairperson of the Tertiary and Higher Education Trust Fund Board, Mr. Mohammed Jah. Please join me in welcome.
Thank you very much, Chair Ceremony. By the way, I'm the Honorary Consul of the Republic of Korea, South Korea, so I'm very happy that it's been mentioned that they invest very heavily in research, which is very important. Honorable Professor Per Gomez, the Minister of Higher Education, Research, Science and Technology, Her Excellency Jaina Bajany, Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Higher Education, Permanent Secretaries here present. I see my brother from the Ministry of Education. DPSs present, directors, heads of the different funds, chairpersons of also the different funds here present, government officials, department partners, private sector leaders, and members of the media. Ladies and morning, at what is any moment honor to stand before you today. Allow me first to express my profound and the Honorable Professor Per Gomez for their visionary leadership, empowerment, and education. I wish to commend the exceptional team of the Ministry of Higher Education for their tireless efforts in shaping policies that strengthen our education and skills development ecosystem. I would also like to thank our honorable parliamentarians, in particular the Education Committee, for making this monumental initiative possible. As someone who has spent much of my life building businesses and nurturing Gambian talent through the private sector, I have seen firsthand the incredible potential of our young people, their creativity, resilience, and ambition. You would agree with me that potential alone is not enough. It must be matched with access to quality education, technical training, and an enabling environment that connects skills to connectivity, to opportunity. The creation of this fund is timely and strategic response to the challenges and opportunities of our era. Around the world, nations are rethinking how to align education with the demands of the modern economy. And here in the Gambia, we are taking decisive action, not only to reform our systems, but to resource them sustainably. Indeed, this fund represents more than just an institution. It is a national commitment, a bold and visionary step towards empowering Gambians through skills, education, and opportunity. It reflects our collective determination to build a future where young people are employable, entrepreneurial, and job creators, where education and innovation drive sustainable growth, and where no one is left behind. This is precisely what this fund seeks to achieve. We will build strong partnerships with the private sector, with development partners, and with our diaspora. We will leverage technology and data to ensure impact and efficiency. And we will ensure that gender equality and inclusion are at the heart of everything we do. This fund will not only provide financing, it will inspire confidence, unlock talent, and catalyze innovation across the Gambia's educational and training landscape. Ladies and gentlemen, I and the entire board members look forward to working closely with Dr. Jojo Ndur Tambedu, the Executive Director of the fund, and her team to support her to turn this vision into reality. We will strive to make the fund a catalyst to build a world-class education and skills system in the Gambia, one that competes on the African continent and beyond. I pledge that under the board's stewardship, the fund will operate with transparency, integrity, and accountability. We will ensure that every butut mobilized is invested strategically to strengthen institutions, empower learners, support innovation, and create pathways to decent work. To my board members, our appointments are an honor and a great responsibility, one that offers us the chance to shape the future of education and capacity building in a lasting way. As we take our roles, let's remember the sound governance, that sound governance is the anchor of our success. We have been selected based on the pretext that we are capable, principled, and forward-thinking, who will share our vision and not afraid to speak the truth, to speak truthfully. As chairman, I will encourage open dialogue, respect, and diverse perspectives, and always make decisions grounded in transparency, fairness, and the long-term interests of the institution and the country. I will endeavor to lead with integrity, humility, and purpose, and hope the results will speak for themselves. Ladies and gentlemen, we will endeavor to always remember that governing a trust fund is about stewardship, managing resources that belong to the people for the benefit of generations to come. Good governance will be our strongest pillar. Clarity of purpose, accountability in every decision, and transparency in every process. We will insist on proper systems and tools required to execute our mandate and build an environment where integrity is the culture and not the exception. Today, as we inaugurate this board and officially operationalize the Gambia, Tibet, and Higher Education Trust Fund, let us commit to excellence, accountability, and service, not only to our institutions, but the people whose lives this fund will touch. Ladies and gentlemen, the journey ahead will require collaboration, dedication, and belief, a belief that together we can build a future where every Gambian, regardless of background, has the opportunity to learn, create, and to succeed. As you are aware, we have built the Q group of companies, which is over 10 companies now, from a bedroom to a classroom, and now we are in 6 or 7 sectors of the economy. But not only that, but we are proud to say that we are a multinational company from Gambia to Sierra Leone to London and other jurisdictions. This was possible because of the opportunity we had and the support we had from the Gambian public. For that, I call on the entire private sector and the people of the Gambia to support these 3 funds. You know, we have the Sunubos concept, and we believe in Gambia. We believe that we can make it here, Gambians can make it here. And for that reason, I will instruct the QuantumNet Institute of Technology to donate $5 million to the research fund. That's QuantumNet. I will also commit Ajib Bank to donate $5 million to the revolving fund. And I will also ask QCell to donate $5 million to our fund. This is just a token from the companies to show that we will not leave it to government to do it alone. I'm calling on all the private sector and individuals, and I will say this in the local language. Fon sini kufa def butut dinko gis dinga njeriñu sa dom dina njeriñu Gambia dina njeriñu waru ñoo bàyyi government rek dugal fa xaalis private sector bi ñu bari ñu ngi dimbale. Some people want to pay for scholarships, but they don't know who to give it to. This is the fund. The funds are there now. You have funds now dedicated, to help Gambia grow, to help the Gambians to go to the levels we're expecting, to help these young people to get done, ñu jéxal seen janga mëna am liggéey. So maa ngi oo nit ñi bu leen wax ne fond bi pour government bi rek la déedéet. Private sector maa ngi oo all the companies ñu try one of these funds, any one of them, try to contribute, as much as you can, from $10 to millions. Ñu nekk ci kër gi tamit papa yi ak yaay yi ak oncle yi bu leen wax ne lii private sector la bu leen wax ne lii government la da nga bëgg a fayal scholarship nit da nga bëgg a bokk si research fund bi demal nga bank account will be there nga dem dugal xaalis loolu la aduna bi yëpp noonu lañ dee bilee fonds si nii fonds si they are not built only from government money. Actually ñun sin target for our fund is to be able to mobilize more resources from the private sector and the donors than the government. This is our target. So dama dee wax ne nit balaa nit di la dimbale from si biti nit kooku dafa war a gis ne yaa ngi dimbale sa boppa every day ñu ngi oo doono partner si ñëw leen ngeen dimbale ñu but xaalis bi nekkuñ di ko foree somewhere ay nit ñu mel ni ñun ñoo ko dee donate soo demee Europe America yëpp fonds su ngeen di dégga nii yëpp ay nit ñoo fa dee donate ñu jël ko ici som Africa ñoo xam ne sax xamuñ Africa every day ñu watch TV ñu gis ku jógee from outside Africa ñëw di ñu dimbale sin school si I think we have seen the MRC Foundation. It's a classic example koo xam ne sax ñu bëri soo leen ko laajee sax xamuñ kan la they don't know him but he's pumping millions and millions waaye kooku pour mu gën a pomp dafa war a gis ne ñun sin boppa lu ndaw luñ am tam ñu ngi ko see dugal so looloo tax may oo di public ñu ñoo déglu yëpp ne fonds yuñ establish ni pour ñun la du fonds yoo xam ne dañ koo jël ba pare jox ko ñu nekk outside pour sin doom yi la pour sin rakka yi la pour sin mag yi la ku am loo am fii fond ñëwal nga def ko si fond si te xam naa ne you know di nga ko gis because Professor Gomez and team am ñum select pour ñu run these funds ak head the boards I think ñëpp xam nañ leen si dëkk bi ne luñ bugg a gis rek mooy dëkk bi dem kanam so ñun nag at the Q group yéen a tax ñu dëgër ñu ngi start sin bedroom di def lu ñoo def waaye su nekkutoon Gambien si du ñu dimbale di ñu support di support sin products si di ñu ñaanal di ñu egga fii so moo tax ñun tamit ñu ne mënuñoo gis fond bu important ni ñu nuy wax nit ñi ne isil leen si xaalis te ñun startuñ dugal si xaalis professeur so moo tax tey ñun dañ kontaan at the Q group ne ñu ngi egga si level boo xam ne mun nañoo contribute te dañ contribution bi dañ bugg a gis ne mu ngi continuer yéen gis ngeen lu Q group bi di def in different areas and looloo tax is important ñu dooleel fond bii nii pour ñu am a lot of Gambians hundreds of Gambians ñuy def more than lan la Q group bi di def it can happen you know we can have a lot of Gambians who have big companies ku ñu wax tey ñu ne Gambien mënuloo am banque da nga ko war a du dégga because Mr. Jab ngi am Q group am nañ banque mënuloo am télécom it's not true mënuloo am insurance company mënuloo am lii mun a Gambians si can do it luñ Gambians si need mooy ñu create that opportunity especially xale yi dañ leen war a create an opportunity and ñun we have seen you know the influx of the foreigners coming to our country is very good because our country is peaceful waaye ndax dañ war a toog ba dëkk bi ñu jël ko over from us te affaire bi du wax liggéey la nga toog rek di naan ataaya di wax ne kii foreigner bi lii doesn't cut it da nga war a jóg suba nga dem liggéey xale yu toog dañ bëri you know te dañ leen war a create opportunity waru ñoo wax rek ne liggéey am na xale yi ku bugg a liggéey déedéet suñ create opportunity bi dinañ mun a ñaax xale yi ñu forcer leen sax ñu dem liggéey parce que xale waruloo dem ba nga jeexal school nga toog sa yaay wala sa pa ñu amee la you know so moo tax maa ngi ñaax ñëpp ne ñu support fond si nii te ñu ngi wax professeur ne kontaan nañ trop si sélection bi ñu ma fi taseel yëpp they are you know people of you know high caliber am nañ xam-xam bi mun nañu yóbbu fond bi luñ nit rek mooy dëkk bi tam ñu support di fond you know nuñ ko mun a supporté nag mooy comme lu ma wax rek is simple is a fond xaalis la ku am $10 nga ne dama ko yóbbu si dama bëgg a yóbbu ko si fond bi the bank account should be available they should be known you know we should not restrict this you know to only the private sector and government the ordinary individual out there I'm telling you professor there are a lot of people who want to help they don't know how to help so we should be able to you know extend our arms to them And also just to thank everybody for coming. We are really happy to be part of this, and we assure you of our commitment all the way. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. The chair can smile now because my chair is cheering. Thank you very much, Mr. Mohamed Jah, chairperson of the Third Fund. He has opened the gates. The floodgates have been opened. ñetti leket yëpp def na ci dara. Xam nga ñu ne leketi ne naxut béy. So I will echo what he said, Bumfayam. The doors are open now. The remaining private sector can emulate, can follow his steps. The lekets are not full. We still need to put as much as we can put. It's for the Gambia. It's for the Gambians today. It's for the Gambians tomorrow. So thank you very much. This is really a welcome, but not surprising, because he has been doing much more than that for the education sector. I can recall the spelling bees where he pumped millions and other initiatives that I'm not even aware of. So he has been a long-standing partner of the education sector. 15 million in one go is not a joke. So let us give him another round of applause. Thank you very much. Thank you, everyone. Let me introduce our other chairpersons from the public institutions. We have the chairperson from the University of Applied Science, Engineering and Technology, Governing Board, Ibrahim. You can wave. I'd like to see you. We also have the chairperson of the NACA Governing Council, Mr. Jallo. Do we have any other chairpersons here? Because my eyes can see. Okay, we have the Vice Chancellor, University of Education, the Gambia, the former Gambia College. All right. Thank you very much, everyone. So, as we move on, distinguished guests, honored board members, ladies and gentlemen. But before we continue with the formalities, I want to share a very short story. A very short story with you about a farmer and her 3 seeds. There was once a farmer who had a vast fertile field. In her storage, she had 3 special seeds. The first seed was strong and full of potential, but it was dry and needed to be planted to show its worth. The second seed was for a tree that would bear fruits for generations to come. The third was a rare seed, capable of growing into something entirely new, something that could change the landscape forever. For years, the farmer would look at these seeds and her field, dreaming of harvest. But she lacked the means to irrigate the land. She lacked the means to protect the saplings and to nurture the rare, innovative plant. So the first seed remained in the bag, its potential untapped. The tree for future generations remained a sketch on a page. And the revolutionary seed was labeled a risky dream. One day, the farmer and her community decided to build. They didn't just dig one well, they dug 3. They dug 3 interconnected springs. The first spring was channeled to where the strong seed lay. With this water, it sprouted, broke through the soil, and reached for the sun. It grew into a very strong, healthy plant. The second spring was directed to nourish the entire field. The soil, the environment, ensuring that the mighty tree, once planted, would have fertile ground to grow, deep roots, and a strong trunk, guaranteeing shade and fruit for decades to come. And the third spring was dedicated to the rare innovative seed. It provided the special, consistent care it needed to experiment, to grow in unexpected ways, and to finally blossom into a new species that enriched the entire ecosystem. The field was transformed. It was no longer just a plot of land. It was a thriving, self-sustaining, and innovative farm. The success of one plant fed the success of all the others. Ladies and gentlemen, in this story, we are all that farmer and that community. The strong seed of potential is our Gambian student. And the Student Revolving Loan Scheme is the first spring, providing that vital flow of opportunity that allows them to sprout, to grow, and to reach their potential. The mighty tree that will bear fruit for generations is our entire tertiary education system. And the Tertiary and Higher Education Trust Fund is the second spring, enriching the very soil and infrastructure so that our institutions can grow and serve the nation for generations to come. And the rare, revolutionary seed is the power of Gambian research and innovation. And therefore, the National Research and Innovation Fund is the third spring, providing the dedicated, specialized resources to nurture bold ideas that will refine our future. Today, we are not just inaugurating boards, we are turning on these three springs. To our esteemed chairpersons and board members, you are the guardians of these waters. You hold the responsibility to ensure the flow is steady, pure, and reaches every seed that is ready to grow. The field is ready, the seeds are waiting, let the harvest begin. On that note, I thank you, and join me to welcome the Honorable Minister of Higher Education, Research, Science and Technology, Honorable Professor Per Gomez, to deliver the keynote address and provide the official declaration of the three boards. Please welcome Honorable Minister Professor Per Gomez. We can still do more as he walks.
Thank you. EPS, technical.
You did not tell us that farmer. So that farmer in the story, I think, is Professor.
Thank you very much, EPS permanent secretaries here present, deputy permanent secretaries, chairpersons of the university governing boards here present, and also chairpersons of the new funds, Mr. Anis Obi, Dr. Ibrahim Asal, and Mr. Mohamed Jah, esteemed members of the three governing boards, CEO NACA, Deputy Permanent Secretaries, Directors, partners in development, our brothers and sisters in the media, ladies, and also staff of Moherst, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming and welcome to Moherst, the Ministry of Higher Education, Research, Science and Technology. I think today is a great day. I'll come back to that, but I was really moved. Just before we start, can we give a big round of applause to our former Permanent Secretary, Dr. Yusufa Ture, here present. Dr. Yusufa, thank you for your service to Moherst. For many years you've been here, and also for these funds that we are now integrating. You were here as PS and you did your best. And it's good that just by coincidence we are now integrating them, and you are around as PS also in one of the, at least one of the boards. Thank you very much for your support, and thank everybody. I said I'm very, very happy because yes, we identified Gambians, highly skilled, highly trained from the private sector and other areas, and submitted their names to His Excellency President Adama Barrow, and we're happy that he supported the submission and also endorsed that and approved the submission. And today we have this cream for the disposal of Moherst. So we're very, very grateful. And the response from the general public, how did you manage to get these people? I don't know, I don't have the answer. We saw what everybody is seeing and we approached them. And we thank God they accepted to come. And from the executive directors and the chairpersons and the board members, we want to thank you really for coming and accepting the national call. And also the ex-officio members, the permanent secretaries and deputy permanent secretaries, directors here present, and Solicitor General. Yeah, it's a busy day, but yet still you decided to come, at least to respond to the national call. I told the executive directors and the boards, saying that, you know, others, when they are appointed, they just continue from where their predecessors start. Unfortunately, for these three boards, Banjul to Koina, they don't have anything, anywhere to rely upon. They have to start from scratch. They had to now build a system that they will have to hand over to generations yet unborn for the first time in the history of the Gambia. So we want to thank you really for this opportunity, for accepting the appointment by His Excellency President Adama Barrow. And I'm really touched because, you know, we were together upstairs with all the chairpersons, you know, and Mr. Jan did not tell me that he has a surprise. So I discovered the surprise together with the Gambian people. Those of you watching live right now from QTV and others and other channels, I just discovered it. I know yesterday I was at coffee time with Peter Gomez and I was asked, and for some of the executive members and the chairpersons. And for Mr. Jah, I told the Peter and the rest that for us coming from the university, he has been doing it as an individual. I'm a living witness. He's been spending his money to support university education at personal level. This time around, he's now been called to champion a national cause. So I know he will continue using his own resources, but he will also use his network. He's going to engage other partners, development partners, the private sector, and so on. But you see, today he did it with class. So I can even say, thank you very much, then I go and sit down. Because what else am I going to say? Both in English and in Wolof, he has said it. All the other chairpersons, the executive directors really explain why we are here. But also, Mohamed Jah went further to surprise us with $15 million. $15 million. This is the good news that I'm going to share immediately. We are out of this to my boss, His Excellency President Barrow, and the rest of the cabinet, but also we'll share this through our brothers and sisters here in the media with the rest of the Gambian people. That's the good news. And as they rightly said, they're just starting. The Gambia is for all of us. We cannot have a Gambia where only a few people will be the one now supporting. Where are the others? They made that call. Come forward. Come and build this nation. Come and contribute your quota in this process of building a new republic. A republic anchored on a highly skilled citizenry. Come forward and be that nation builders. We must be the laborers of the republic. They've started, they've done their best. Mohamed just said the tone with 15 million. Who will bid that target? Come forward. But then, if you are like me and you cannot afford that, at least come with some few dollars. At least contribute your quota. That when it started, I contributed. I also supported this initiative. So, Mr. Jah, thank you very much for this. And this is the message. As I said, for many years, when I was at UTG, you've been supporting students. And in fact, the students used to struggle so that they can get your awards. And even after, in addition to UTG, also those coming out from high schools also were supported. And the other facilities that were given to the tertiary and higher education. A grateful nation, on behalf of the Republic, we want to say thank you. And thank you for really taking that huge amount to support the Republic, to support the Gambia, to support the nation, to support the youths of this country, to now take part in this system of containment, to engage the youths, to understand, as you said, Sunyu Boss, that here in the Gambia, in our own backyards, we sit down and build a better tomorrow, a better Gambia. That's the message. Gambia helping Gambians. That's the new norm. That's the spirit. Positive vibration. You wake up, you think about your brother and sister here in the Gambia. Nakala dimbale suma morami Gambian. and not the other way around. Nakala ko wache, how I can pull him down. But here, the mantra here is how I propel him, how I promote him, for them to enjoy. And I don't want to know where they're coming from, which region they're coming from, which ethnic group they belong to, which faith they profess. The moment they are Gambian, I want to support them. That's the message that Mr. Jah is sending out there. And it's important for us to decode that message so that the spirit of citizenship is really in us, and it is really demonstrated for us also to be the other Mohamed Jahs, to contribute. Buñ xeeb dara ñun tamit nañ joxe ku nekk lan nga mun a joxe sa réew su ñu ngee tabax réew bu bees ñu ngee tabax Gambia bu bees yow lan mooy sa contribution si Gambia boobu noonu ñuy war a tabax. Lii mooy message bi, and lii mooy message boo xam ne the executive directors and also the chairpersons ñoom ñëpp ku nekk nga bàyyi sa soxla ñëw pour tabax beneen Gambia boo xam ne dañ koo teg si xam-xam nit te xam-xam moo yore réew, métier moo yore réew. Leneen lu ñuy def dañoo waste suñ time. Remember, yàgg naa koo wax juróom benn fukki at ba léegi since independence ñu ngi nii di am ay tolof waxtu bi jot na comme nuñ ko daan waxee di def taami Saa Dawda suñ demaan Makati Square independence ñu maaj ba pare nag léegi ñu woy suñ woyee national anthem waaye dañ daan woy liggéey jot na Gambia moom na boppam. Gambia boo xam ne dafa nekk Gambia bu develop, dafa nekk liggéey boo xam ne dañ moom suñ boppa mooy independence, sovereignty, but also liggéey Gambia moom na boppam. Wax tamit si mbiri liggéey jot na mel ni dañ war a liggéey ndax ñu mun a dundal suñ boppa, liggéey ndax mun a dundal suñ njaboot, liggéey ndax Gambia mun a am naataange. lii moo ñu tax a jóg, lii moo tax ñu war a ñuy dem school, waaye dem school ñëw ba pare di taalal loxo, dem school di ñëw di yelewaan ba pare nag jël independence since 1965 léegi 2025 60 years after independence, and Dr. Peters will remind us that we continue begging in style. Why did we go to school? What is the essence of our training? We need to change our processes. We need to revisit the way we render that service. Quality service for the nation. Quality service for the Gambia. That's the core. That's the new norm. And I want to thank all the members from the different ministries, different agencies, the private sector for coming. Yes, as I said, the Moherst has nothing for you. Moherst has no solution, but we count on you to bring the solutions for Moherst, but also for the Gambia, for the first time. The revolution is on. The transformation is real. This is not theory. It's action. And to deliver, we must. I said yesterday, Gambians see the yoni ya continue. There's no other solution. It's to deliver. And it must have impacts. So, we gather not just to witness an event, but to participate in the laying of a cornerstone for a future where no Gambian student is left behind due to financial constraint. A future where our universities are citadels of excellence and engines of development. A future where Gambian minds pioneer solutions to Gambian problems. This is the future that our tripartite funds are designed to build. The Student Revolving Loan Scheme is our commitment to democratizing education. It is an investment in individual potential, ensuring that the brilliance of a young person in Basse or Brufut is not extinguished by lack of means. The Tertiary and Higher Education Trust Fund, commonly known as TET Fund, is our commitment to institutional sustainability. It is the financial bedrock that will ensure our universities and tertiary institutions are robust, competitive, and capable of producing graduates who are ready to lead and innovate in a complex world. The National Research and Innovation Fund is our commitment to sovereign ingenuity. It is the catalyst that will transform ideas into industries, curiosity into cures, and research into tangible results for our farmers, our health workers, and our entrepreneurs, so that we have a vibrant nation. A nation without creativity, a nation without innovation is a dead nation. Ladies and gentlemen, together, these three funds form an unbreakable chain of empowerment. They represent this government's holistic and strategic approach to human capital development under the dynamic leadership of His Excellency, President Adama Barrow. To our newly inaugurated board members, you are the architects who will now turn this blueprint into reality. You have been chosen not for a title, but for a task. You are the guardians of these national assets. I charge you to be bold in your thinking, prudent in your management, and unwavering in your integrity. Govern then, govern with transparency, act with urgency, collaborate across your boards. Remember that the success of our fund is intrinsically linked to the success of the others. The ministry stands with you, but the responsibility is now squarely on your shoulders. The nation watches with expectation. Therefore, having heard from our well-experienced and well-talented, highly skilled chairpersons and the executive directors, and also the experience coming from all the members of these different boards, permanent secretaries, deputy permanent secretary, directors, and from the private sector. And by the power vested in me by the President of the Republic of the Gambia, His Excellency Adama Barrow, and the laws of this land, it is my singular honor and duty to officially declare the governing boards of the Student Revolving Loan Scheme, the Tertiary and Higher Education Trust Fund, and the National Research and Innovation Fund duly inaugurated and fully constituted. Let the work begin. Congratulations to you all. May God bless your endeavors, and may He continue to bless the Republic of the Gambia. May peace and peace of God be with you all, and may you receive God's blessing and grace as you deliver, as you set the tone. Let the light shine from Moherst to the rest of this country, thanks to your intervention. Bravo to you all.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister, for that powerful and visionary keynote address and for the historic official declaration that has now inaugurated the 3 boards. Your words have not only laid out the challenge, but have also laid the path forward. The charge is clear. The mandate is now official, and the work, as you have stated, begins now. To our newly inaugurated board members, you have had the call from the highest level. You carry the confidence of the ministry and the hopes of the nation. Let us all rise to the occasion with dedication and integrity the moment demands. This ceremony may be concluding, but this is where our collective journey truly begins. We thank you all once again for your presence and for your commitment. The event is now concluded. Thank you very much for attending. We can have a group photo outside. And before you disperse, because I'm really happy today, I wanted to say, Ki group ne hulenam. If you don't have a QC line, go get one.